So Hare Krishna and welcome everyone for our Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam weekly deep dive into the first canto of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter 2, called Divinity and Divine Service. And we're hearing about the Lord, his appearance as the super soul within the hearts of all creatures. We've previously heard about the Lord as the heart, as the super soul of the whole cosmic energy, the Pradhan, and the Lord as the super soul of one particular universe, one universe. He enters into each universe as this form of called as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And then the last one is the Lord in the heart of all creatures. And so we're continuing that. And welcome, welcome. So I'll open up the screen here. Yeah. This is text number 33. Asau gunamayer bhaver bhuta suksmendriya atmibihi swa nirmiteshu nirvishto bhunkte bhuteshu tadgunan. Any words there that look a little familiar? Danica, anything that stands out? It'd be a party word.
Guna Mayer, didn't we have that?
Guna, okay, yeah. Guna, the three modes in nature, yep. You see anything in here in this word? You see?
Oh yes, Atma.
Atma. So Atma is the self, but Atma is, it's like when we say ourselves, there can be three things that we can be talking about. We can be talking about our body, our mind, or the internal, the soul itself. So the same thing. This is a word you may know, but it's here, if you could see, it says over here, it says down here, it says Indriya. Indriya. There, it's with the E, but so the Indriya are the senses. And this is probably less familiar, is the Bhuteshu.
I was going to say that.
Okay, that's the living entities. Living entities. Okay, Ishu?
What about need be? Like when you say the prayers to Prabhupada, need be Shesha, but it's Nirvishtu.
Nirvishtu. Yeah, I looked up that word and I couldn't. I found Nirmite means created, and I was trying to find out if it was if it had any relation. So Nirvishesha, near means without, and Vishesha means specificity, means like having any type of its own specific existence. So Nirvishesha. So in that verse, Prabhupada it says Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini. Namaste Saraswati Deve. So this is a bid to Saraswati Goswami, Srila Prabhupada's guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. And Prabhupada is Gauravani. Gauravani, like if you want to say a telephone in Sanskrit, you say Dura, very far, Vani, instruction, far communication, far talking. Vani is like the communication that goes on. So Gauravani is the communication or the teachings of Gaura, of Lord Chaitanya. Gauravani. Prachar. Prachar is like preaching or teaching. Achar is what you're doing. Prachar is what you're speaking. So Gauravani Pracharine. And this Pracharine, this teachings of Lord Chaitanya, they challenge the conception of nirvishesha, that God is without any specific qualities. That God is just, just a light. He doesn't have a name, a form. He doesn't have any kind of things that he does. He doesn't have any relationships. He doesn't have any leelas. He doesn't have any real practical existence other than just being an energy, an indescribable energy. So nirvishesha is the teachings of Shripad Shankaracharya, the founder of the Mayavad philosophy, the Advaita philosophy. And shunya is the word for zero, the Sanskrit word for zero. Shunyata means more of the Buddhist sense of oneness, of nothingness, become one with, become nothing, become that in the ultimate sense, everything is nothing. It's shunyata. It is all void. So in the translation, it says something about, they don't use the word challenging, but challenge is the conception of impersonalism, so that'd be nirvishesha, and shunyasvadi, voidism. But here, this nirmiteshu, I couldn't find, near usually means without. I didn't find any mite or anything. But the word together, nirmite, what I found was created. If also we remember swa is one's own, or one's own creation. So swa nirmitation means his own creation. Swa is like his or his own. Nirvishta, also that nirvishta. Now, if we look at the previous word, this is top. Let's see, previous verse. Oh, this up, and you'll see something that looks similar. Is it here? Yata Darushveka Svoyonishanam Bhakti Vishvatma. Let me go on near. Let me see. Anta Pravishta. Here it is. Pravishta. 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 Zoom. Entered into. Pravishta. Pravishta entered into. And in this one it says Nirvishta. Nirvishta. Entering. I don't really, Nirvishta and Pravishta, I don't really know how they're different, but that Vishta, we understand the root is going into. So he's going into his own creation, his own thing, these bodies that he's created, he goes into. Bhumte. Now this is a key word in this verse. Bhumte. Bhumte enjoys, causes to enjoy, causes to be subjected through, passes through, undergoes, passes through, enjoys. And then it talks about eating also. So how those things are related, how is enjoying and eating? It's something that you're experiencing, something that you have to taste. So he causes you to taste, to eat your karma, eat your experience, eat your result of your karma. Okay, so we'll just read the verse. All right, again. Asto gunamayer bhaver bhuta suksmendriya atmibhihi swaminiteshu nirvishto bhumte bhuteshu tadgunan. Now, do you see what do you see on the screen? Is it when I speak? Is it the verse, or is it my camera? Maybe I should highlight this.
Now I can see your camera.
Okay, maybe I should highlight the
You can see the verse now.
Okay. New options. By cycle. Vamiteshu nirvishto. Mukteshu. Right. No, that's not what I want. Okay. Anyway, as long as you can see what I'm reading. You can see what I'm reading?
I have my own book. I'm reading it from here.
Oh, okay.
You can see it.
Okay. I just want to know if they're using the phone, if they can see what because I'm sharing the screen on.
You can see it on the screen perfectly.
Okay. All right, so the translation is, the Supersoul that enters into the bodies of created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature. The Supersoul enters into the bodies of all the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature. So enter into the bodies. What was that word again? For entering?
Punkte.
That's nirvishta. Vishta. Nirvishta.
Oh, okay. Punkte causes to enjoy.
So nirvishta, pravishta, and nirvishta. So you can act it out with your hands, or just like your hands. Nirvishta, nirvishta. Can you see my camera? Nirvishta, nirvishta. So the Supersoul, nirvishta. What was it? Let's look at that verse again. Which was the one with the pravishta? Hold on. Here it is. Kaya vilasite sveshu guneshu gunavaniva anta pravishta. Anta is interior, inside. Pravishta, entering inside. Avati appears. Viganena vijimbitaha.
Wait, can I add something?
Yes.
So pravishta here on text 31 says entered into, so like past tense, and nirvishta means entering, like present tense.
Okay. Well, this verse here is talking about at the time of the creation of the universe, or the creation of material elements. So this is definitely like, this is like billions and billions of years ago. Anta, and then anta is, inside. This is entering, nirvishta, entering. Okay. Yeah, one is definitely talking about something that is like the Lord. Yeah, this is a more of a constant feature versus something that happened historically. He enters into the body. We take a birth in a body, he enters into that body with us. He's also simultaneously is also in the body of the atom itself. So that's also very inconceivable. The purport. Does anybody want to read the Leela, you want to read it?
Which one?
The purport?
33. There are 8,400,000 species of living beings, beginning from the highest intellectual being, Brahma, down to the insignificant ant. And
how do they know that there's that many species?
Because it says it here.
Where do you think Prabhupada got that? Did he get it from his science class?
From the Vedas?
Yeah, it's a verse from the Padma Purana. It describes how many different species of birds there are, how many different, and this is for the whole universe. And what specifically it means by species may not be exactly the same as our understanding, but yeah, basically different types of bodies. There's 8,400,000 different types of bodies. They talk about, like, there's so many different aquatics, so many different plant life, and there's 400,000 different kind of human-like species. 8,400,000. And so
4,000 human-like species?
Yes.
Like all over the universe, or just
all over the universe, humanoids.
Okay, so for example, reptile people, aliens, and all that.
Yeah, angels, demigods, demons, anything that's got like a human-like form, human-like intelligence. There's 400,000 different kind of human-like beings in our universe. Huh? Star Wars would probably like this fast. Star Wars and Star Trek and Marvel. Brahma. Okay, you want to continue?
Yeah. They are enjoying the material world according to the desires of the subtle mind and gross material body. The gross material body is based on the conditions of the subtle mind, and the senses are created according to the desire of the living being. The Lord, as Paramatma, helps the living being to get material happiness because the living being is helpless in all respects in obtaining what he desires. He proposes and the Lord disposes. That's beautiful. In another sense, the living beings are part and parcels of the Lord. They are therefore one with the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living beings in all varieties of bodies have been claimed by the Lord as his sons. I have a question right there.
Go for it.
They say if we are parts and parcels of the Lord and we are therefore one with the Lord, shouldn't it be that when we die, we go back to being part of the Lord, like a cell in his body or something?
So here, I will show you a verse that talks specifically on that, the question. So that's Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. This Dana K, this might sound familiar. Mamevam sho jiva loke. Can you see my screen? No, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was seeing it on the computer and now I don't see it anymore. Mamevam sho jiva loke. Oh, here's Carmen. Welcome in. Welcome, Carmen. Hare Krishna. So, Lilia just asked, we just read, Prabhupada said that the living entity is a part and parcel of the Lord, therefore one with the Lord. And so he said, well, wouldn't that mean that they would just return back to the Lord like one of his cells? And so we're going to look at that question. Okay, so if you look at the screen here, Mamevam sho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, manasastandri indriyani. And you see that word indriyani again? Senses. Manasastani indriyani prakritishtani karishyati. So mama, my, Mama Angshas, my parts, as you see here, it says fragmental particle, Angsha. Angsha means a part. Mama Angsha Jiva Loke are the souls in this conditioned world, Jiva Bhutana. But the thing is, they're described to be Sanatana. Who knows what this word means? Sanatana. And of course, you can see it on the screen, but Sanatan Dharma. It means eternal. So the souls are eternally part. They're not that, they're ever the whole. They're eternally apart. Just like the ray of sunshine is never the sun globe. It's always a part of the sun, but are the heat and the fire. You have like parts of a pizza. What's a part of a pizza? The smell. But the smell is never the pizza itself. It's just the part of the pizza. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So the smell doesn't come and turn back into pizza. And so pizza realization. Where's this pizza? And then you see the pizza. And so there's a greater depth of understanding. And so now you see the pizza. That's called Paramatma realization. It has its own distinct place. It's not just, the smell is pervading, but the sight of it is in one place. So the Lord has his own individual form as a super soul. It's an individual in the heart of every creature. It's in every atom. So it's in the same sense pervading, but it's individual, not just like a smell just is without any kind of form. It's just pervades. But smelling the pizza and seeing the pizza is probably not, are you satisfied just smelling and seeing pizza?
No.
No. So you want to taste the pizza. And so that is called Bhagavan realization, where you taste the sweetness of the Supreme Personality Godhead's sweet interactions. You taste the sweetness of his personality and his relationships. So the jivas are just a fragmental particle, but they're always this fragmented particle. They're my anshas, my parts are the souls, and the eternally my parts. And they're in this world with the mind and this manasashtandriyani, the six senses, which is the mind and the senses. Tasnani, and they're struggling. They're traveling from one body to another, carrying their mind and senses. Prakriti are situated, tani, in this prakriti, in this material energy. Thus, he gives up one body, takes another body, but he carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, carries his mind and senses. He's given another body with another group of eyes, ears, tongue, nose, sense of touch, which are grouped up. So he's given another body, and then he tries to enjoy, and tries to. Does it say no upasevate? But does it have that same word bhunjanam here or no? Oh, sorry. Hold on, I'm going too fast. 15 advance. Support. Okay, here it says Utkramantam Stitam Vapi. This has that same kind of word that we're looking at in our verse for today. So he gives up the body. Utkramantam Stitam Vapi. He gives up the body. And takes birth in another body. And again, he is trying to bhunjanam. He's bound to experience like we say, enjoying, but sometimes that might be confusing. Well, how is like getting sick enjoying? How is this material world doesn't seem like enjoying, but it's more like he's bound to reap the results and taste the experience of his of this world, gunanvitan, under the spells of the modes of material nature. And those who are foolish, they can't understand this, how the soul is different from the body, how he's experiencing, how he's living within the body, and how he's experiencing the pains and pleasures within this body. But the one who has jnana, pashanti jnana chakshusha. Pashanti means to see, jnana means knowledge, and chakshusha means eyes. Those who have eyes of knowledge, they can see this. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Welcome, welcome. Do you want to continue your reading?
Yes. Okay. They are therefore one with the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living beings in all varieties of bodies have been claimed by the Lord as his sons. The sufferings and enjoyments of the sons are indirectly the sufferings and enjoyments of the Father. Still, the Father is not in any way affected directly by the suffering and enjoyment of the sons. He is so kind that he constantly remains with the living being as Paramatma, and always tries to convert the living being towards the real happiness.
Nice, nice. So here Krishna is saying and Prabhupada is reminding us that Krishna is always with us. We have this, CCTV that he's there in our heart. He's watching everything, and he's the Upadrashta Anumanta. It's in chapter 13 Bhagavad Gita. He's in the heart. He's there as the witness and the sanctioner. He is sanctioning our desire to enjoy separately from him. He's facilitating that. Like it says here in the purport, we couldn't do it without his help. We couldn't be in ignorance without his help. But because love requires this dynamic of having a choice, he facilitates, in a sense, like begrudgingly. He doesn't want to be separate from us, but he facilitates our separate awareness, that we're actually never separate, but our awareness becomes separate of Krishna because he is within everything. He is outside of everything. Everything is made of him. He's within everything. All functionings of this world are happening due to his facilitation, but we're just not aware of that. And so he facilitates that. You could say begrudgingly, because he doesn't want us to be, but he just because love requires that dynamic of having a choice. So who does not want, who has the desire that is anti-bhakti, the desire to be God, desire to be the boss, the enjoyer. Okay, this is what we want, and he helps us out in that endeavor. Still, the Father is not in any way affected directly by the sufferings and enjoyments of the Son. He is so kind that he constantly remains. So he's there. He's there with us in our darkest, and always tries to convert the living entity towards real happiness. So we may notice, sometimes within our heart, some kind of kind instruction of the mode of goodness, some good advice that we may not listen to. Sometimes, the more we listen to it, we listen to our good conscience, which is coming from Krishna himself, the more it will speak to us. Oh, yeah, you have your hand raised. Yes.
So, what made me think of, when I read this, it made me think of parenthood and how being a parent made me have a deeper love towards my parents. So maybe Krishna gives us that opportunity to learn what unconditional love is. And I think it's so beautiful because without having kids, I would have never even thought to the extent that we love. So it's really nice.
Nice. That's nice. Thank you. Thank you. Very true. So I'm going to open it up again and read from the next commentary by Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is by Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The Lord as Paramatma, having entered all bodies with material sense objects, senses, and minds, which have been created by the Lord, makes the jiva enjoy the sense objects colored by the gunas. Commentary. The soul of the universe, Paramatma, was conditions made of the gunas in the form of sense objects, bhuta shukshma, senses and mind, having entered into the bodies of living entities such as the demigods, the devatas, and animals created by himself, enjoys those sense objects which correspond to the gunas. The Lord does not enjoy the happiness of this material sense object. Thus, the sentence means, without Paramatma, the jivas cannot act as enjoyers, or I would say experiencers. Or it means that the Paramatma enjoys through the jiva, because the jiva is to touch the shakti of the Lord. Or the verb enjoy may be taken in the causal sense. Thus, it means the Paramatma lets the jivas enjoy the sense objects. And then Jiva Goswami writes, this verse shows how the Lord engages in various pastimes in this world. Is that for this verse? Or maybe that's for the next verse. I don't know. Hold on. I'll go back to it. And then this is by Burijan Prabhu. This is the study guide. These two paragraphs here are basically covering this last few verses that we went over. During the creation, Vasudeva, Karnadakshay Vishnu, enters each universe. And then it's called Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So Karnadakshay Vishnu enters into the universe, and it's now called Karnadakshay Vishnu. Garbhodakshay Vishnu. He remains spiritual, transcendental, despite the fact that he appears to be within matter. When he enters the heart of every living entity and into all matter, he is known as Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Vishnu. Again, he remains transcendental. And then he quotes Prabhupada's purport for the previous verse. And then he continues on. As a Supersoul, Vasudeva enters everything in each universe. Generally, the conditioned living entity's mind is filled with desire. And based on those desires, the Supersoul is inspired to reciprocate with a conditioned living entity. He connects the soul with his own external energy so that the soul can experience matter. However, the living entity desires his connection with Krishna's energy is changed to one of service in the spiritual world. The Supersoul inspires that living entity differently. So he reciprocates, but if we want to understand something spiritual, his reciprocation is quite different. And Prabhupada, he's lecturing on this verse. He talks about how the whole functioning of how this body works, everything, Krishna is making it happen. Let me see if I can find filter by canto, filter by chapter, filter by year. No. I had the fortune to listen to all these lectures that we're going through. Okay, so let's see. So he's making the arrangement. Let's see, there's some cool points there. So creation, there is a machine. There are this, like say you have a phone. It's a machine. Not only did he, he's making the machine, but the buttons are actually being pushed by the Lord. It's like somebody is showing us their phone and pushing the buttons. Like we gave the example of the taxi cab driver. We simply say, I want to go, to the mall, but it's a cab driver who's actually pushing this, the gas, turning the steer wheel. So due to our ignorance, we cannot explain how nature is working. We give an evasive reply. Just like a flower is becoming a seed, the tree is coming, the flower is coming, the fruit is coming. We simply give an evasive reply. By instinct, by nature, it's coming. But we can't explain. Like for example, we will say, this is my body. But if it is your body, then explain, how are you digesting food? If it's you, if that's you, it's your body, then how are you digesting food? So here, but there's an explanation. Just like our tape recording machine, we do not know. We push some buttons, it is recording. But there's a great manipulation of the machine. We do not know. So like your phone breaks, you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how it's working. And as soon as it's not working, because we're ignorant, we go to the mechanic. Just find out what is wrong. He knows. He pushes things the right way. And again, it works. So we take the total working, and we may say it's working by nature. So if we see this material existence, there's so much structure, but we'll say it's just working by nature. But Prabhupada says here, no, there is a brain. There's an intelligence behind it. And there's there's somebody that's making it happen, pushing of a button. Maya Dakshina, I am putting the buttons. He is putting the buttons and acting on the machine is so subtle, so quick, so immediately that we cannot explain. We think it's automatically done. We think that it's automatically done. So just imagine you have, like in the future, we're going to some AI-driven car. And they can even have like some scanners that scan your brain and take in some kind of inclination. Oh, you want to go left, you want to go right. And so if we were in some AI-driven taxi, and the taxi takes us where we want to go, we'll think that I am doing it, but actually there's some other intelligence that is actually carrying out the functions of it. We don't know how the car is built. We don't know how the engineering was working. We do not know how the responsive turns are happening. But still, we will think that it's happening. I'm making it happen. I'm the doer. But actually, we're simply the desire, and there's a higher intelligence that is making it happen. The whole material creation, there is a brain. This is not a so-called evasive reply automatically. What do you mean automatically? There must be someone pushing the button. Must be working. There is a brain. That is really scientific study. So here, Gunai, Mayer, Bhavir. By the three energies, three kinds of energies, goodness, passion, ignorance. These Gunamayi, these qualities of nature, Bhukta, Shukshmendriya. Then there is creation of ego, creation of intelligence, mind, and then creation of sky, creation of air, creation of fire, creation of water, creation of land. So Krishna has created all these different elements by which everything is happening. I just have to find out the seed of a banyan tree, just like a small grain, like a mustard seed. But you sow the seed, and a big tree, gigantic tree will come out. Unless the energetic tree is within the seed, how does it come out? That is Krishna's energy. That is Krishna. You'll say, oh, by nature, but who created that nature? Who's making it function with such, we expect it to come out a certain way because there's intelligence there. Squirrel. So now you see within the seed all these arrangements, the veins, the nerves, the fibers, the muscles, everything is there. You cannot explain how these veins are working. You know, with a little problem with your veins, and there's a, you know, he's saying his fingers suffered for so many days. Therefore, it is not my leg, not my hand. Just like I'm living in a room, a rented room. It is not my room. If you study in this way, you'll find everything belongs to God. Falsely, you are claiming, I do not know how it's working. I've been given a chance to live in this particular body. Any reflections there? Questions, comments? Carmenji?
Right now I feel like I'm processing. But also the connection isn't so good, so you kept breaking up.
Oh no!
I'm trying to process what I heard, or I
Oh
think I
no, that's
heard.
terrible. So actually, here, I'll read some more from Prabhupada. This is nice. Start. He says, actually, enjoyment is in my mind. That is not enjoyment. Real enjoyment is when I'm free from the embodiments, the 5 elements, the gross elements, the 3 subtle elements. I've entered into this, and the action and reaction of these 5 gross elements, 3 subtle elements, I'm enjoying, actually not enjoying. That is called Maya. There's no enjoyment. It is just a mental thing, enjoyment within the mind. The mind is also a material creation. So because we are part, as Lilia says earlier, because we're part of Krishna, what happens when we satisfy Krishna?
We become satisfied?
Yes, yes. Oh, look, Ramananda wants to show his mask.
Whoa.
Do the light thing too, also.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh my God.
I'm the Hare Krishna gamer.
He's the Hare Krishna gamer.
Look really
Very
cool.
That looks like he's gonna go to a rave. All right.
Yeah, I guess from like what you just read, it's also when like challenges arise and you're like speculating on what's gonna happen or what you think the other person may be thinking, or it like instead of like going in person and like figuring it out or like talking to the person,
Yeah.
if like you don't go to that person and you're just like speculating, then your mind becomes very agitated and then you're like in the mode of passion.
And the mind will take you on a roller coaster.
Yeah. So yeah, like same like what you just read, like the desires. If you're just thinking about it and thinking about it, then the desire is gonna grow. And then it becomes like
And
another.
a lot of the idea of pleasure is just in the imagination. If I do this, I'll enjoy. But while you're doing such an activity, it might not be so exciting. It's just in the hope of enjoying of that activity. There's some in the mind. Oh wow, 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 wow. I do this, I get this, I'll enjoy it. And then when you get it, it's not the same. The actual experience doesn't meet expectation.
So then when we do something for Krishna, then all the senses become satisfied in a way, because then anything you do for Krishna, like whether it's like in your mind or physical. It's like non-different from, how do I word it? Okay, so if you do something like you go take flowers to the deities or you dress the deities, you feel satisfied. But then in your mind, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, it's still satisfying because you're thinking on how to please Krishna. And
Yeah.
the services are kind of like non-different. So then it's satisfying to the mind.
By even thinking of Krishna's service is service. So when you serve Krishna, when you serve Krishna's mind and senses, then our mind and senses become satisfied. And so we are part and parcel. The hand can't feed itself, it has to feed the stomach. It can't take for itself. You know, as long as it holds on to it, the food, and says, no, I don't want to give up this food. I want to enjoy the food. But yeah, you have to give it up to the stomach, and then you'll enjoy it. You'll get nourishment that way. It's like, no, let me hold on to this and see if I can get something out of it. No, you won't get anything out of it. The hand won't get anything out of the pizza that it's holding. It needs to offer it to the stomach.
That's actually really nicely put. Thank you.
Right? So let's practice our verse. Astau gunamayer bhaver bhuta suksmendriya atmabihi swam nirmiteshu nirvishto bhuteshu tad gunan. Okay, so we got to get somebody repeating. Asau gunamayer bhaver.
Ashau gunamayer bhaver.
Bhukta suksmendriya atmabihi.
Bhuta shukshmendriya atmabihi.
Asau gunamayer bhaver.
Ashau gunamayer bhaver.
Bhukta suksmendriya atmabihi.
Bhuta shukshmendriya atmabihi.
Asau gunamayer bhaver. Bhuta suksmendriya atmabihi. Asau gunamayer bhaver.
Vasto Gunamaye Bhavir.
Bhuta suksmendriya atmabihi.
Uta Sukshmandriya Atma Bahi.
So sukshma means subtle, like the subtle mind, the subtle body. It also means very fine, like flour, or like say you have a cloth that's very, very fine and thin. You know, that's subtle. Like maybe you have a curtain that's just really thin, just you can see right through it. Very subtle, very fine. And indriya is the senses, and atma is the being. So bhuta sukshmendriya atma bihi.
Uta Sukshmandriya Atma Bahi.
Bhuta sukshmendriya atma bihi.
Bhuta Sukshmendriya Atma Bahi.
Aso Gunamayir Bhavir.
So Gunamaye Bhavya.
Aso Gunamayir Bhavir.
So Gunamaye Bhavya.
Bhuta Sukshmendriya Atmabihi.
Bhuta Sukshmendriya Atma Bahi.
I want to see the previous verse. Yatahya Vitova Nirbaru Sheku Bayoni Shinani Bahati Vichvatma Bhute Chitatapuma. The Lord as a super soul pervades all things as fire permeates wood. So appears to be many varieties, although he is the absolute one without a second. And then again, further speaking about that same Supreme Lord. Aso Gunamayir Bhavir. Bhuta Sukshmendriya Atmabhihi.
Bhuta Shakshmendriyatmabihi.
Svanimiteshu Nirvishto.
Vanirmiteshu nirvishto.
So that means he's entering his own creation. Because nimite means creation, swa, his own, and nirvishta is entering. The bodies of his own creation. He's entering these bodies. Bhumte. So let's do this. Put the sign language for eating. Like when you ask a baby if you're hungry, like that. You're hungry. Bhumte, bhuteshu tad gunan. Swami nirmiteshu nirvishto.
Vanirmiteshu nirvishto.
Bhumteshu, bhuteshu tad bhumte. That's right. Bhumte, bhuteshu tad gunan.
Bhukte Bhuteshu Tadguna.
So these living entities, he's the one that facilitates their experiencing this world, enjoying in this world, the experience or the taste of this world. Svanirmitestu nirvisto. Bhukte bhuteshu tadgunan. Bhukte bhuteshu tadgunan. I'll eat some turmeric so we can bhukte. Eat. Experience or enjoy. Bhukte bhuteshu tadgunan. What does bhukte mean?
Oh, I forgot.
Is it to eat?
To eat, yeah. To cause to enjoy here it says. But to eat. What was that verse in chapter 15? Utkrama samsitam bhapi bhunjanam. Bhun. This bhun it's all related to experiencing, eating, tasting, cause to enjoying. It's like a different, some languages use different words, use words in a different way. Like I was speaking to this Indian man who he learned Chinese and about different languages. He was actually telling me that Chinese is not so hard if you just don't try to learn the alphabet. Don't try to learn the script at all. Don't deal with the script at all. He said, besides, they also Romanize their words. They write it out in English letters anyway. They said they don't have any grammar. He said there's no grammar. There's no like past tense, present tense. You just say the words, and then everything is understood according to the context. But he says in India, when you say I make a promise, you say I eat a promise. So the word eat is, you know, used in different ways. And I was speaking to somebody else of another country. I think it was Uganda, and he was saying something about how are you? And he said, how are you? Here, let me find it. 1 second. Because I like learning all just, you know, welcome phrases in all different languages. So 1 second. This is Harry. Orioche.
How's it going?
So Orioche in Uganda is Orioche means how's it going, but it says how do you eat also, it means how are you. So I was saying, oh, that reminds me of what we're reading today. This Sanskrit is how you're experiencing, how do you join versus also even. So bhukte, bunjanam. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Orioche. How's it going? Orioche. Bhukte, bhute shutad gunan. Aso gunamayer bhavir. Bhuta sukmendriya atmabihi. Swanirmiteshu nirvishto. Bhukte bhuteshu tadgunan. Okay, any last reflections, comments, questions?
No.
Okay, so yeah, if you're feeling a little under the weather, itchy throat, soak your ginger.
Ew.
It's really not as hot as the fresh ginger. Yeah. Just soaked ginger and also turmeric.
Okay, let me write that down. So ginger.
So intense. It seems.
I remember you saying something about apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, I put apple cider vinegar. And I squeezed 2 limes in here.
And so that's fresh turmeric.
Fresh
root?
turmeric. Yeah.
Wow.
Fresh
No,
So
turmeric.
it's fresh turmeric and ginger in lime juice and apple cider vinegar.
No, just eat it like pickle. It's a little spicy, but it's not as spicy as the ginger when it's fresh.
Pickle ginger.
If you leave it longer, leave it longer, it becomes more like pickled.
Okay.
You can put some dill spice in it.
Does it matter if you use lemon juice or lime juice?
Lime juice is fine. Lemon juice is fine. Lime is a little better though. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Hope y'all have a great day.
Yeah. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Like you said.
Pizza.
Feel better.
Thank you.